All right. It's that time. It's time for Beyond Sight and Sound. Let's do this.
Hey boys and girls, we are going to talk about S&W shooters and prospectors. What is S&W shooters and prospectors?
We at S&W Shooters and Prospectors help people find treasure.
Did you say treasure?
Yes, treasure. Just listen to this amazing review from our happy customer, Jackie Sparrow.
Chocolate ship-shape and a pleasure to deal with. I was able to buy everything that I needed at prices that were shillings less than others. I found my 9 pieces of 8 in no time. Savvy?
I know you're asking yourself, why should I shop at S&W Shooter and Prospectors?
Chuck Smalley has over 45 years of metal detecting experience. He works with each customer one-on-one to customize their setup to match their skill level.
So if you always dreamt of being a pirate, contact Chuck at S&W Shooters and Prospectors and he'll dig up a great deal for you.
Eye patch and rum not included.
Caution. Please do not operate motor vehicles or power equipment while under the influence of this show. Listening to this show could cause side effects such as bouts of laughter, violent binges of cabin fever, and even dreams of silver and gold. Please be advised. Now that the fine print is out of the way, on with the show.
All right, we're back. We're live once again. And I see that we are all here. All of us are here. Good to see, good to see. All right. So hopefully, oh boy. I see. Okay. So hopefully we've got some good stories coming up. I see that Ohio Relic Hunter's in, Clayton's in, Dennis, Tam. Hopefully there's Scott, Chuck. So hopefully the audio is good and strong like it has been the past few episodes where we've been trying to dial it in. Welcome to Tom. And we'll see how that all goes. And I know Dennis has been out for a bit because he's been out with the gang on the Alaska trip. So for Dennis's benefit, in case he hasn't caught the past couple of episodes, we've been tweaking the audio, and we have brought back the call-in line. Ooh, scary sometimes. Either way, hopefully in the past few minutes, I haven't managed to put Chuck to sleep, so let's get him in here as well, if I can get this done. There he is. How's it going, Chuck?
Doing well. How's everybody been?
I think they've all been doing pretty good.
Yeah, they're showing up. Hey, Janet, Celeste, they're coming in. Yeah, we had an awesome trip. That's all I can tell you about it. A lot of good gold was found, a lot of memories made. Some guys did exceptional. Others guys. After I weighed out mine, I'm at $780-800 worth. I'm not unhappy. And some guys, all they got was what we worked off the slick plate because they were busy doing other stuff.
Like fishing.
Yeah, Frankie was in there, man. I'll tell you what, he got a good long trip of fishing in and caught his big northerns. And Kevin Smoot went with him, and then Kevin was out. And I'm not kidding you. I'll bet you Kevin shot 3,000-4,000 pictures. He's a photographer, and he got some dandies of wildlife and us and everybody else out there. And it was he enjoyed that to the max. And then
I bet he did. I mean, that's kind of a that's a unique experience and opportunity all in its own. And with him being a photographer, I'm sure he was not going to pass up the opportunity to
take
photos.
Not a bit. So he and we had, we got there the first day we were there, half day we were there. It was raining, drizzly, cool, 52 degrees, gnome weather. And the next day it kind of mediated. The morning it was a little rainy, it cleared off. And after that, it was 70s, upper 70s, near 80, and right at 80 down in the ravines and that type of places. And of course, that brings out another problem. We had mosquitoes, but we handled it. And a few people had ATV problems, some due to gas, some due to other problems. Dennis lost a tire the one day. It went flat, and he made a turn to come off the bead. And he had the long ride on the tailboard of an ATV. And I'm quite sure
that could not be fun.
Oh, yeah. And other things that went on. We had a lot of fun all the way through it. And we hung out downtown Anchorage and ate at a really neat place off the pontoon aircraft place and watched them come in and out. And always great to get out and do stuff in Anchorage. Took them all into the Alaska Mint, and they bought carved jade, things like that for the wives and little gifts, and drooled over all the nuggets. So it's been fun. It was a fun trip, and we had great weather. The last day we were there, the morning was drizzly, foggy. Guys went out, a little more gold come up, and then we got on the plane, and we were out of there about 5:50 in the late afternoon, and started the long trek home because that's all red eye out of there. And yeah, it was good. It was good.
Well, I had mentioned, I believe it was on Wednesday's episode, maybe, that we had heard from you Monday and gave everybody a couple of updates and mentioned that I'm sure Frank was going to be doing some fishing at some point, but the camp eats well when he does that.
Yeah. We didn't have any incursions with any bears, but the guys that went up on the fishing trip up the Pilgrim River, I believe it is, they ran into a sow and a calf, but they bolted. They didn't have to. They saw them, but they didn't get a good picture of them. Saw moose and caribou and you name it. We had a moose in the morning when we left the hotel in Anchorage, walking through the hotel backyard and out toward the street, and we saw a little bit of everything. Had a good time. Nobody had any real problems that couldn't be worked through. Didn't have any detector problems. The 900s 6-inch coil were picking up the smallest pieces. We had Alan Humphreys. He was using a Gold Monster, and he got in tune with that pretty well. He found quite a bit of gold. He did. I think he was up 3/4 of an ounce, somewhere in that range. Yeah, he did well. A lot of us did well. Some did better. Tim swept. I mean, literally, he got into some big pieces. But that's what I said, get out of this claim thing. We got to get out, and I got a spot and put them on it, and they did well. And I generally keep that to heart, but everybody up there knew about it and knew where we were at. But that's all right. That's part of it. Now they're expanding. They picked up more claims that can be pushed and used. So next year will be a good year. They'll all be new ground. And I've already got a week booked. Well, 2 weeks. We just haven't chosen the week that'll work out the best for Alan Landau. He's got a deal that comes up late in July, and he thought maybe the later week would work. The last 2 weeks is what I generally pick on, and I think the last 4 or 5 trips up, I used those 2 weeks, and I haven't struck out yet because it's been gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. The weather has been absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
And your crew has done quite well in past excursions too.
One, too. It doesn't bother me if I don't get a lot of big ones. I get gold. Don't worry about it. I want the guys coming with me to succeed, and they did again.
And that's what it's
travel, and it was fun. And hey, there's Alan. I wonder if, hey, Alan, do you feel a little?
Actually, Frank Juarez and Dennis are all in here too.
Yep, and Alan's on board. I just wonder how he felt. Had a zombie day, everybody pretty much yesterday.
Yeah, hopefully everybody's doing okay and getting rested up and everything. And who knows, after that long ride back on the back of the ATV, maybe Dennis was looking around for some Tylenol today.
Scott McClory asked a question. So how much per person is the whole trip on an average, including airfare, lodging, and food? If we shop the airfare, it's about $890. We stayed some of us were there 2 nights in Anchorage at Comfort Suites because we can get 4 guys comfortably into one room, split rooms, but we had 3 and 4, and then we split 3, 3, and 2, and then another group of 3 that last night. And those rooms are $300, and time they add the tax, about $360 a night. And
you divide that up 3 ways.
Yeah, I mean, the other hotels up there this time of year are running between $390 and $500 a night, the good ones.
Oh, and let's back up a minute there, Chuck. I know you said if you shop the airfare, and I know we've talked about this before on the show, but you might want to let people know there's a not every day are you going to find the same price. There are windows that are windows of opportunity.
You got to watch it, and that's why we try to set up a year in advance. I've already got pretty much, well, if Alan gets to make it, and then Frank and Dave and Tim and Ronnie, Mike.
You're already 3/4 of the way booked.
Yeah, I'm already, 3/4 myself. I'm at 8. I'm going to try and take up to, 12, 13 again. It was more comfortable with a little group, and they had a couple other people in. And the food there was phenomenal. They got a new chef up there, new cook. And you do not go there to lose weight, I'll tell you that. They feed you 3 squares a day. And or you can take a sack lunch out in the field with you and eat at 6:30 in the evening and 6:30 in the morning. And you're out there going. And really, after supper, you can go back out from 7 to 11 without a problem.
Nice.
Yeah.
It works out well that way.
Yes, it does. And everybody was pretty happy. Like I said, very few malfunctions on the ATV. Dennis had a flat on his, and it came off the bead, and we got him back up to camp. And I told the mechanic, he said, why didn't you drive it back? I said, it came off the bead. Oh, you did the right thing. I mean, I didn't want to fire him.
Right. Want to ruin a rim, tear up a rim.
We got him running again, and then we had one other ATV that was, I don't know, backfiring, and I'm quite sure it was water in the gas. My ATV, you had to reach down once in a great while and just tap the starter, and that's the only way you get her going. Just tap the starter, then hit the button. And they were saying they were going to change the starter. And so.
It is Alaska. It's a harsh environment that they're in.
Well, yeah. Yeah. And, well, I had a great experience as usual.
It sounds.
And let's see, getting back to Scott's questions. So your airfare, your week at the AKAU mine, about $2,400. That includes the gas for the ATV that you rent, and that's above and beyond. 3 squares a day, good rooms, heated. I'll tell you what, it does get down. There were some nights down to about 48, but this next week coming, they're going to go be dipping into 30, 28 at night, that kind of stuff. They also have some wet weather coming in, and for a while. So we were blessed again, thank the Lord, of the good weather. In fact, by the end of the week, you had to watch where you're running on the roads because the dust clouds were coming up. It was dry.
So you're telling him then it's was that $2,400 just the cost for the camp, or is that for everything
except the ATV
rental?
Yeah, she raised it $100 this year. We get a discount. Normally, it's $3,000. When I bring a group of a dozen or more in that range, we get a discount. She's always treated us pretty good, and it's a pretty sharp discount too.
Hey, you can't beat that.
No, and ATV.
And you wind up coming out with what, 5+ ounces of gold.
Person. I mean, if you looked at the group, I rough figured it with mine and Alan's and everybody else's. And if you looked at it, we probably took in now with those pieces that they got, $28,000 to $30,000 in gold went home with people.
Oh yeah, I would not be surprised at all.
Yeah, so it was great, and we're going to do another one, and we'll get the word out, and we'll sign up a half a dozen or so over the core group that wants to go back. Why do they want to go back? They found good gold. We found good gold every trip.
Right. Yeah, good gold, great times, great scenery, adventure, experience.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and in the evenings, they go back out detecting. They like to throw horseshoes up there. We played right, left, center. Had a lot of fun. We stopped at the AC, and they did their beer pickup. They stopped the ATVs from going into town unless they are licensed. And the licensing costs quite a bit. And she's got like 20 ATVs up there, and it's $160 a unit to put a user's license. She had a couple of ad licenses, and she just told us next year, if you want to get a group together, you can take a pickup truck into town.
Well, you can't beat that.
No.
See, Digging Buddy and Celeste are in as well now.
Yep. LRH has a question. Did anybody do any sluicing, dredging? No dredging, but we ran what's called a slick plate and high bankers. We didn't do any sluicing, but we ran slick plates and high bankers. Slick plate is a big catch. They dump a dump truck full. We got washes. You got the sluice underneath, and you're washing a dump truck each time. And we ran.
Just to put that into perspective, that's what, 10 ton of material you guys are moving?
8 to 10 tons we're moving, and we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 13 grams, something like that. We washed out. We had problems with it. Alan can't talk. He's driving. And so I've got to talk with him on his date again, and I'm going to firm up the week we're going. And hopefully he can get out and come with us again. So
I'm sure you would definitely enjoy that, to be able to be in attendance.
Alan got a nice 5 gram, I think. Mine come just under 4 gram. He got the 5 gram. Then it went up from there. There were some halves that were found, 1/2 ounce and 3/4, and maybe you saw the big ones posted, and that was fun. I mean, it's there. You just got to prospect a little with a detector once in a while too.
Yeah, actually, I think one of Tim's pictures and one of Ron's pictures were in the post tonight.
Yep. So great stuff, folks. And Tim and he got a 2.275.
I think it was like 2.47, maybe
47. And next, folks, we were seeing pieces that big, and they were bringing phenomenal amounts of money. You're talking that unit there would probably sit and be sold at 9-10 grand.
Somebody just fried their keyboard, dumped their drink over on it or something when you said that.
Yeah. So you've got all kinds. If you can't find it with a detector, go run a high banker. You'll get gold, or get a couple buddies and run a couple shifts on the slick plate. You'll get gold.
And that's a good point too. I mean, not only did you guys use the slick plate and the high banker, you found gold with everything. A slick plate, banker, the detector.
Ran had gold in it. High bankers, everybody. So one thing that Augie uncovered, he was digging on this newer property they got. He could dig there. He found a sluice down about 15 feet. The sluice was period gold rush. It had wooden side, steel flat, and we saw about 10 feet of it. And as he's carefully pulling, started carefully pulling stuff out around it. He got a big pike pole that they used to loosen these. They were about 4.5 foot grates, 3 inches thick, that were cast iron. And then he found a maul, and then you can see this whole thing. So he's trying to uncover that because it's a true piece of gold rush history. It's there. Yeah. It was neat. I mean, we all got to take a look at that. You sit there and look at that. And those guys, you talk about weightlifters, those grates are heavy. They're probably 80 pounds a piece.
That'd make for a nice piece to have on display there.
Well, he's got to lay that stuff out, I think. He's just working on it. Told us to go down and take a look at it.
Wow.
ORH is not just history. Chances are it still has gold in it. Probably does, because they dumped a lot of material over the top and around it. But the gold they were finding in that area was dirty gold. It had a lot of, I've got 2 pieces myself up in my jar I got to clean up that had mercury on them.
Wow.
Yeah. So they run into it in places up there.
Right, that's true. And Ron, he found a mixed media piece.
Yep. Yes, he found a nice chispa, and it'll clean up. And some people like that. They like to see the golden quartz, the whiter quartz. And you got a good piece of that. Now, I don't know, that might go $3,500.
Nice.
We got some good gold.
Dennis also brought up a good point that it's a lot of hard work too.
Yep. They also said if you go take a mine lab, the 800, the 900, and the MANTICORE will all find in good gold, and the little gold monster.
Yeah, and these weren't just nuggets. I mean, these were gram and subgram.
Yeah, these are tiny. Unbelievable. But another thing to remember, folks, I'm not knocking this detector, but DS2 does not perform well in gold fields. End of story.
Well, it's like we've said before, proper tool for the proper tasks. Some
I mean,
machine
tell me they did well with it. With they got one or two nuggets.
scenarios.
So
Right. But there are other options out there that could do the job better in the same scenario.
Yep. Yeah, I am ORH. He asked if I'm going to retort it. I'll just probably burn it off. But it's there. We did not have any. Now, I had the Notka pinpointer with me, but I did not take a legend.
Oh, so you were running the AccuPoint then?
Yep. A couple times it came into play, and it picked up smaller pieces of gold. But they're even the Garrett. I mean, these little pieces, you got to split and look and that kind of stuff. I mean, they're too small for pinpointers.
Right. Yeah, that is a good point.
Though. It's fun.
It can take some time finding those little pieces, that's for sure.
Yeah, it can be frustrating, especially if they're kind of covered with a dirt coating and you're sitting there holding each piece, trying to get it. Then you look at it, spit on it, that's gold, put that away.
Right.
Yeah.
Many people in the chat can relate to looking for like a post earring or an earring back and knowing how frustrating that can be at times.
Right. So
expect it to be any better when you're looking for gram and sub-gram gold.
The MANTICORE and the 900 and the 800 all have that good MineLab gold prospecting mode in it. But a lot of good gold comes up, believe it or not, Parks 1.
Yeah, that's right. The previous trip to Alaska, that's what people were hitting it with pretty much. And that big horse choker of a nugget came up with an 800 in Parks 1, if I remember right.
Yes, it did. So, and the majority of the large nuggets were not found in any push. They were in a hard pan area where old mining had been done, and it's lost stuff off the sluices and that kind of stuff. And so you had to hack and chip and get the stuff out. And they worked for it. Everyone was worked for it pretty hard.
Oh, yeah. But they were rewarded for their effort.
Oh, yeah, they were. Yeah, they were. And they did well. Mike got a nice 3/4 ounce and a half, and I can't remember what the other one was. You won't see it. He doesn't put stuff on Facebook. He got some pretty good stuff too. So everybody was getting good the last couple of days. We did real well.
Yeah, I remember the that was a couple of days in or whatever. You had done a little go live or a little video saying, "Yep, everybody's happy now that they're finding big gold."
Yep. ORH. Any issues with mineralization? Hot rocks. There are hot rocks. And that's deal with sometimes. But, it's funny. You got to track them, and most of the hot rocks had a number of 1. Sometimes it would go 1, 2, and you kind of knew by the sound. But small gold ran 2, 3, and 4, then 6, 7, 8. And if you had a 800, it'd be 13, 14, 15. I think Tim said his bigger nuggets read 18 to 20. And Ron's read 14. I had my little bigger one read like 12. But that one or 12 or 13. But that was on the 900.
Right.
I don't know what Alan read his at. It'd be interesting. I don't know. But we'll ask him that some other time.
I'm kind of surprised though with some of them that Ron was finding that they were still bringing up like a 14. I would have thought they would have rang a little lower.
Nope.
Being so small.
Well, the tiny ones were. He had
okay.
But on the bigger nuggets and that kind of stuff, that magic number on those 900s. It's a little higher than the 800, 18 to 20, where the 800 is ringing them 12, 13.
Yeah, I was going to say the 800 be right there, probably between 13 and 16.
They were. Oh, yeah, it's good. Yep, RH12 and the nickels.
Right. Yep. So, I mean, there really wasn't a whole lot of issue with the mineralization aside from what would have normally been expected.
Right. You work your EFI, you might end up on the same channel as somebody, and you just switch it one channel one way or the other, and it still works. Basically, there's no wires out there, no power grid, and no cell phone towers.
Oregon Coast Adventures in. Welcome to Cody.
Yeah, hi, Cody. So it was a good time.
Yeah. Oh, and I see Ohio Relic Hunters dropping the call-in number. I don't know if Dennis wanted to call in or what.
There you go.
You never know.
You never know.
Especially since we got the lines back up, which I can tell people too. I noticed tonight, because I'll try to check the lines and do a sound test and everything before we get everything tied in to go live. And it seems like when you try to call the call-in number, it may ring 3 or 4 times before I grab it. So don't think it's just sitting there and it's being ignored. I can't grab it until I notice it. Yeah, but yeah, about 3 or 4 rings probably.
Yep. Oh, by the way, Chicago Ron got lucky and found an 1899 S dime right out of the heart of the gold rush.
I did see that. Yeah,
And
he's up there prospecting for gold and he's finding silver coins.
And then he found a Levi Strauss and Company button. They looked it up. It's the original button from 1873 to 9 or something like that. One of
I can't remember the date now, but that sounds right. Yeah.
So Levi Strauss.
Yep.
Nobody was running a GPX, although there was a 6000 there, and the guy I helped him with it. He was having all kinds of problems. We got him straightened out and sent him out. I don't know if he did any good or not, because his wife was running a gold monster and she was finding gold and he wasn't. So he needs some practice on the 6000. 2 weeks before we were there, some guys with 7000s were there and they did all right. So we'll see. As long as
bit of kit they were running too.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but right now your Mind Lab, I mean, folks, and I know it makes others cringe, although the Garrett Axiom has become a pretty good machine. They've got that ironed out a little bit. So I'll give Garrett a plug on their Axiom. I've used it up there and it worked well. But Mind Lab still top of the heap on that gold.
Well, and I'll tell you, this is something that some people may not realize or understand, is that when we're talking about gold hunting, Mind Lab's name comes up quite a bit, and there's a reason for that. They've been a serious contender in the gold industry for many years. I mean, we're talking decades.
Yeah, I bought my first gold machine from Mind Lab 98, 97. It was a gold 1000 something, and I did well with it. That's the first gold machine I really did good with. I tried the whites and I didn't do that great with it, but boy, that one I did well, and I just stayed with Mind Lab then and evolved and started being a dealer because their stuff was good.
Right. Yeah. I mean, debate.
So,
I mean, pay a little bit more for the name, yeah, but there's a reason for that. They make good machines, and everybody sees that there are so many MineLab users using MineLab equipment for general purpose hunting, coin and treasure, relic, things like that. But a lot of people don't realize that that is technically a sideline for MineLab. Their bread and butter is in the gold field.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. So if anybody's got any questions, type them over in comments for me. I'll try to do the best.
Type them over in comments or call in and we'll try to grab the call.
But like I said, if you're really looking forward to sometime go gold hunting, we've got some openings right now for next year and next July. I make
And
no
it fills up quick.
right. I make no guarantees you'll find any, but we'll work hard for you to get you on to gold somehow.
That's true. Nothing's a guarantee. He can get you on the spot, but you still got to get your coil over it.
Right. Yeah, I'm looking at Oregon Coast Adventures is paying $5 a gallon for milk there now. Alaska was
What's the price of milk and gas in Alaska?
$8.99 a gallon for milk. And then gasoline really was like $3.99, $4.29. Yeah.
You guys were just about getting gas cheaper in Alaska than we were here in Ohio.
It wasn't terrible bad this year. But
Wow.
diesel was $6.99.
Or maybe the better question is, what was the price of a bottle of DEET to keep the mosquitoes away?
I didn't price that, but I can tell you an 18-pack of long neck Michelob was $36.
Wow.
Now I don't drink the beer, but
Not at that price.
they want the Michelob Light by the can, and it dropped it. The long neckers are expensive.
Yeah, then they could probably get a 24-pack for that price.
Sure.
Wow. It's just I don't think a lot of people really even think about it until it gets brought up in conversation like this, like you mentioned in the gas and the milk and the beer.
Bread was
Extreme difference in price. I mean,
$4.99 to $6 a loaf. So
how much?
$6 a loaf for premium style breads.
Wow. Man, kind of makes you wonder around there. Maybe they just take and throw a burger on the plate and say, forget the bun. We'll just eat it with a fork.
Yeah.
Too pricey.
Yeah. It's the price of stuff, especially out on the West Coast, up in Alaska. Man.
Yeah, and to put that into perspective, you said milk was how much?
$8.99, I believe, or not $8.99. Yeah,
$8.99 a gallon, and here in Ohio,
that was 2% because that's all they had on the shelf.
Wow,
because it gets flown in daily. Yep.
Still, that's. I mean, and that's something that people have to keep in mind. If you do want to do a trip to the AKAU camp,
right,
you definitely want to make sure to bring plenty of extra cash, for souvenirs, for eating out,
yep,
whatever, because prices are a little high, and especially
she has shirts and hats and t-shirts AKAU on there. If you want something like that, but we can get into town and you pick up some stuff, but most of the guys picked up stuff out of Anchorage. It is a little cheaper there. And we were out for that day, hanging around. We had a good time. Went to the gold places and some of the shops, and had a good meal.
Right.
So
I wonder, I don't know that you even noticed this or even gave it a thought, but how many people were running pinpointers that ran on 9 volts? How much was a 9-volt battery?
I never looked. Didn't need to.
Yeah, I'll bet that would have been crazy.
Yep. And I had a recharge detector a couple times, but never had to do the pinpointer. But yeah, things were good. I mean, that's one thing you didn't hear about. Oh, darn, ran out.
Right, that's the advantage of the technology. Dennis put in the chat that a 48 pack of Kirkland water cost $37.
Yep.
That's insane.
But you know,
than the beer.
New Honda ATVs in the back that were priced cheaper than here by about $1,000 for a 400 4-wheel drive.
Well, I don't know. That could be because of maybe the volume of sales.
That's probably what it is.
They sell quite a number of them.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there, but I doubt that there was much old stock of Honda 4-wheelers.
No. And
it was all new stock.
Yeah, Frank brought out the point that a bottle of ketchup, the big bottle, $17.
Holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
How about just a packet from the restaurant?
We didn't go downtown and eat because the meals up there were great. It's included.
Yeah, I mean, you're already paying for it, and you know it's good food. Why go out to the restaurant and spend even more money when the meals are included at the camp anyway? Right. I mean, yeah, it might be nice to go out maybe once, twice, something like that, but
right. Corey Kunkel. Hi, Corey. Yes. A MANTICORE was used up there, 2 of them, in fact, and they found gold.
They did well.
Yep, they did very well.
Yeah, they found small gold.
Yep. So, anyway.
So it will pick up on it.
Oh, yeah, it picks up on it well. I'm not going to say that the DETECTEES won't find gold, but we had a couple people using them. One gave up on it and used an 800 the rest of the week, and he got his 5-gram one and a bunch of smaller ones because the DETECTEES 2 was not singing the praise of gold nuggets at all. We even ran some smaller ones underneath and it didn't pick it up in their settings.
And did you guys try tweaking the settings or anything?
Oh, yeah. George.
Figured.
Now, I will say one thing. I just found a nice piece. George was swinging the DETECTEES and making adjustments. He did find a quartz and gold piece. It had gold down in the quartz, and that was close. And he said it sounded almost the same, but it never rang him a number.
Wow. Well, like we said before, sometimes certain machines are better suited for certain applications.
Yeah. Yes.
And the particular scenario is not good for the D2.
Right. The D1 wouldn't find gold if you put it on top of the coil. And a guy switched over to his DETECTEES 2, and that's when he found that one little piece. And that's all he found. And we had him in the best areas. other guys were standing right next to him, finding that it wasn't picking them up. So I don't know if there's a particular setting that you have to redo in there or what, but it was having problems with tiny gold. Now I'm talking tiny. Whereas the mine lab, we're finding from tiny all the way up to huge nuggets.
Right. And let's face it, some machines just, when it's small gold like that, they struggle to see it.
Yes.
Even some of the mine labs do.
So, well, I'll tell you what.
Not all of them, though.
Not all of them. My 900 with the 6-inch coil, I picked up some dots. I mean, they were tiny. Ron got a couple that I'm like, my guy, well, I'm going to call it a nugget. I said, you can't call that a nugget. It's a flake.
Right.
They were tiny.
And I guess Cody's planning a Colorado trip.
Oh, he is? Okay. Corey, no, you do not have to spend more than a MANTICORE. MANTICORE's got an excellent gold program in it.
Right. Or even the 8 and 900s.
Yeah. 800 is proven time and time and again.
Over and over.
I found gold coin with it, 800, and I found plenty of good nuggies. That's a good machine. So the 800, and so is the MANTICORE. It's got the same program in it.
And I've found, granted, they weren't gold nuggets, but I have found gold jewelry with both the 800 and the MANTICORE.
Right.
And it finds it. I mean, that infant ring that was so small, and the MANTICORE still picked it up, no problem.
Right. Barb says she needs a MANTICORE. Her 800's getting old. Well, Barb, call me. I got a MANTICORE for you. Got a used one.
Ooh.
Yeah. So give me a call.
And just remember, though, the MANTICORE does have a coil cable.
Yeah, Barb.
It's not wireless.
Yeah. I don't think a long drive would help bouncing that coil.
And hearing about the prices of the milk and everything in Alaska,
right?
Hear anybody mention what the wages were like? Because obviously the cost of living is higher, so I would imagine the wages are higher.
No one talked that, so I never picked up on it.
Just a curiosity.
I'll find out on the next go around up there. And I would love to do a go live deal, but they changed up at the camp to a Starlink system, and it didn't support. It didn't support me doing a go live or anything like that. And then driving out to the hill, they had lost their what they call a cable of some type that needs repaired off the tower, so you didn't have good cell connection. Some phones did all right. USL didn't. I think Verizon was working. So we'll see. Yeah, Barb, that Starlink is cool, but the thing about Starlink, certain phone companies don't work well with it. I've got USL and it did not work well with it. But I could make phone calls on the Messenger to jail and home and everything.
Right.
I didn't know if Messenger would work on our system here with the show.
You know, I was actually thinking about that after you had contacted me Monday, and I don't know. I may have to look into that and do a little bit of testing, but it's a good possibility that it may.
Right.
At least with the current setup, the way I've got the audio routed.
No, we'll try it again next year.
It seems to be working at the very least, though. You've been pretty solid this episode, and I would
Oh,
say,
yeah, you got her humming. You're sounding good, my friend.
yeah, we tried to dial it in real nice for you while you were away.
Corey's asking, when he got on, we are talking about a prospecting trip. This is to Alaska, Corey, but there's other ones out there. And you can go to Alaska, you can go to British Columbia, you can go down, well, they're even in California. And
oh, yeah.
That's AKAU up in Alaska, Alaska Golden Resort. And there's other places in Alaska doing it now. And well, they've come and gone, some of them, but yeah, you can find pay to play places all over the country.
Yeah, I was going to say, not only just for gold, but for many other things too. There are dig locations all across the country.
Yes, and
of them gold.
You know, you can go look for diamonds. You can dig those crystals. You can dig amethyst and beryl and emerald out in the Carolinas, and they got places you can go try and find it there, and it's a lot of fun all over.
Now, for some reason, when you said you can go dig them crystals, the first thing that popped to mind, you weren't talking about the Herkimer mines, were you? Okay, yeah, the Herkimer diamonds.
Yeah,
and which, just in case people get confused, yes, Chuck is correct. They're called Herkimer diamonds, but they are not diamonds, although they are quite valuable.
Yep, and they get big. I've seen some.
Yes, they do.
Yep. So Frank is reminding you, Josh, he still has not got your mailing address. He wants to send you something.
Huh. Well, that's interesting because I sent it to him the last time that he was in the chat before you guys went to Alaska.
Ooh, okay. Frank, look back.
I'll have to, if it didn't come through in his email for some reason, what I'll do is tonight after the show, I'll text him the mailing address.
Right.
And then that should hopefully take care of any confusion or anything. I mean, I copied and pasted the address that he sent me from the text message right into the address line of the email, but maybe I mixed something up. Who knows?
Barb just told him she has it. So both of you send one, maybe send one out of the two of you. Right. Through.
Yeah, Barb's got the world's largest Rolodex. She's probably got Frank's address too.
Yeah.
Frank's going, wait a minute, I didn't give my address out. Well, doesn't matter.
Mark, he says, would I have to use the rock mode to find gems? I don't have a rock mode in mind. That means you get out, sift, and you learn what they look like. Because if diamond jumped up and bit me in the backside, I wouldn't know what the heck it was.
In the raw.
In the raw, no.
Yeah. Tam and I were actually talking about that the other day. I told her, I said, people see these pieces of jewelry with jade, emerald, garnet, amethyst, whatever. And they say, oh, yeah, those look like nice pieces. And then you could let them walk outside and see a pile of it in the raw, and they just think they were looking at a bunch of rocks. They wouldn't realize what they were looking at.
Yep. So, all righty. Well, I'm about ready to sign out on y'all. I've got fresh peach cobbler upstairs, and I can smell
it. Right?
Yeah, she gave me a peach cobbler today.
Yeah, get the belly full again, and then it might be nap time.
Yep. And like I said, though, up there, if you're interested, PM me. I'll get you the information. You can link into AKAU Mining Resort and see what it's all about. And we'll chat. Don't get in a real hurry to book a airplane flight because you can't. It's too early for next year.
Right. And I would say that if you are entertaining doing something like that, really your best bet would be to contact Chuck and hit the AKAU first.
Take a look
Great
at it.
first, especially for people that are just starting to kind of dip their toe in the water of the
Right.
electronic inspecting.
Yep, it's a learning curve, but there's plenty to do. They got little spots to take you and pull down overburden and stuff, and it's generally full of nice, smaller little pickers. And you get a gold that way.
Oh,
yeah, there's places to go and do that.
Mm-hmm. Guaranteed.
Well,
I suppose we probably ought to let you get on out of here so you can get to that cobbler before it gets too cold.
my feet up.
Right?
Right. And y'all have a good one. Get out and find something. Start showing us what you're finding. We need to have some fun with that. We want to see what you're getting, please.
Right. Well, welcome back once again, and
Thank
you enjoy the night.
I will, sir. And the rest of you have a great night. And Dennis, I saved that story for another date, buddy. Watching. I got a story for y'all on Dennis. A couple of them, in fact. But just to keep him on.
Free pass.
Take care, Alan. I need to talk to you. We got to get that finished up. So, all right, my friend. Have a great night. Thanks all. Be safe out there and have a good week. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, so just to kind of recap there, because I know there were a few people saying, the test and tunes were moving right along okay, but the true test would be when Chuck got back and we were streaming a video feed as well. So for those that have been following along the past few episodes, we had the real test with Chuck streaming video tonight through the feed as well. How did the audio do? And we'll see if we get any sort of feedback on that. Audio was great. Audio was spot on. Awesome. So, maybe we have finally conquered the gremlin. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. Either way, though, welcome home to Dennis as well, and Alan. I know that Alan was busy driving, but if he's still listening, welcome home. Welcome home to all of the gang. Definitely. Okay, let's see here. Looks like Diggin' Buddy says the audio cut out a couple of times for him. That may have just been the connection, though, and as much as I hate to say it, if it cut out a couple of times, that's much better than what some of the past episodes have been for us. But really, it's not bad. The audio itself in the past few episodes, since we've been tweaking and tuning, it's gotten stronger, clearer, and doing a pretty good job, I think. I'm not sure if Frank uses Facebook much anymore, Barb. He may, though. I don't know. Either way, just in case, I'll make sure and get with him after the show, too. And between the two of us, one of us ought to be able to reach him. Maybe both of us. And if both of us do, well, hey, what else can you do? He's been told twice. Oh, okay. So, recap, good trip with the gang out there at the AKAU camp. Sounds like everybody had a blast. Everybody came back with some gold. And for those that have been away the past few episodes, what have you, we do have the call capability back in place. And that is a plus. Until the next one, have a wonderful evening, folks. We're signing out. We're out of here.
We sure are glad you found us here tonight. Thanks for dropping by and joining in. If you like metal detecting, treasure hunting, gold prospecting, or even entertaining discussion, check us out Wednesdays and Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern, on your favorite podcast distribution services.